If you ain't know,
Now you know it.
now you know.
Now you know. Boom! What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel again. Y'all guys can see the title of the video. This one is a request again. This is another death battle. Hope you guys enjoy this one with me. This one is Simone the Digger versus Rayner. White Lantern death battle. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's get it. Boom! Death battle.
Simone the Digger, Kyle
Simone
Rayner,
the
the
Digger,
White
Kyle
Lantern.
Rayner.
Two men born of Earth with the willpower to pierce
I don't know who the
heavens and
Simone
conquer
dude is.
infinity. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a
Death battle.
Deep underground, Jiha Village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious
Wait,
to the
what the
wider
hell?
world above their squalid cave. That's where the hero of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last, Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simone. He was there too, I guess. Simone was a digger,
brother
content to
from
drill endlessly through the
621,
dirt,
6'2"?
until the day he found the core drill.
Yeah,
A key that activated the
pilot.
mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagan. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark. But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity, scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren. And as befits Kamina and Simone's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagan merged, creating Gurren Lagan. With Kamina piloting the body and Simone the head, these two befits Kamina and Simone's unbreakable brotherly bond. Gurren and Lagan merged, creating Gurren Lagan. With Kamina piloting the body and
Lagan?
Simone the head, these two were unstoppable.
It's like some Gundam.
Of all the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history,
I just
Gurren
said
Lagann
that.
might just be the absolute coolest, fueled
Really?
by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any
On top of
weapon they
willpower,
can imagine,
Earth is
including
large
missiles, a
machines,
jetpack,
drills,
a
missiles,
sunglasses boomerang,
glasses,
and of
boomerang,
course, drills,
energy blast.
wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill
Oh.
Raku. Side note, it is so funny
I've
that
never
the
watched
only
this,
thing
bro.
they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality. With Gurren Lagan's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome. Until Kamina died. Oh, wait. Shit, was that supposed to happen? Nope, and it was all Simone's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price.
Dead.
After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit. So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simone who believes in you. Damn. Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time. It was Simone who found Lagan, Simone who pierced the surface, and Simone who would now lead humanity to victory. Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked. Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared
Is that
humanity's
Namor?
potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis. Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah. Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential. Potential Simone would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets
That is crazy.
Channeling
That is
spiral power
crazy,
lets him
but-
constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simone can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines. Creating
the
the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions, all within a Planck instant.
That's the smallest
So how the hell is
physically possible.
Meaning
the
each
White
laser
Lantern
would have
even
to be
gonna win
moving,
this one?
4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light. Oh, well, looks
Wow.
like this wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history. Congratulations, Gurren Lagann.
Move over, SpongeBob. You've been dethroned. Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the Anti-Spiral's greatest trap, the Multiverse Labyrinth, an attack that imprisoned Simone in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simone and his spiral power are just built different. And after being inspired by his bro, Simone absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simone absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
What?
Oh, we're just getting started. Imagine a two-dimensional drawing interacting with a three-dimensional person.
Okay, that's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simone absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simone who was writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simone real, adding another to the mix.
Wait, if every human being has spiral power, you're telling me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Simone enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This
What?
is where Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probability so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simone's power was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simone turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive
Everything
quantum
is for the
breakdown,
power of will,
or
bro.
the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for 7 days straight.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral power, whiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simone evolved one more time.
Oh, this boomstick is crazy.
Toppa Gurren Lagann!
This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simone and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey,
Wow.
cruel indifference of
One
the
point.
universe.
Stop flipping,
Meet the
plan.
indomitable human
Oh,
spirit.
flip.
Proving Kamina's words prophetic, that Simone's drill is the drill that would pierce
Pull the
the
moon back
heavens.
into orbit,
With
stuck
no
in
more
space-time
worlds
at
left to
once,
conquer,
absorb the
Simone chose to
multiverse
wander the
labyrinth.
earth for the rest of his days, in service to others.
Always looking up, for all the lights in the sky are stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free.
All thanks to a humble digger.
Dude, how the hell is...
The universe is a dangerous place.
Seriously, how the hell
You find
is
yourself face to
this
face
White
with an
Lantern
interdimensional
even gonna
vampire,
win this thing?
alien dictators, or this one really pissed off cat. You know who to call.
Yeah,
The
that's like that.
Green
Ghostbusters.
Lantern Corps.
No, okay.
They're the Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force founded billions of years ago by blue leprechaun gods.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him. You love him. You might hate him, but you gotta respect the man with a will as unbreakable as Hal's.
Until the day his will broke.
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged
Oh,
through
really?
the core, killing everyone in his path, and absorbed the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was only one survivor of Parallax's killing spree, Ganthet, and with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human, Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable
35,
willpower like
11.
Hal was?
He was just there. He had no idea what was
75
going on.
pounds.
Must feel good being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a
I don't
sentient
think
fox
this
can
Blade's gonna
master it,
win this
what's
fight,
your
Blade.
excuse, Kyle?
The
I don't
Green
think
Lantern
Kyle
ring
is gonna
can
win
do
this fight.
anything,
I'm not even gonna
fulfilling
lie,
any
bro.
wish its user desires as though it were a genie from a lamp.
It lets you fire
You can
energy
shrink
blasts,
yourself too? I
create
didn't even
force
know.
fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year.
Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a Speed Force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like the time that Boozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched, probably because he's a comic book artist. And we know from this show, they think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that
Okay.
one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang.
Okay.
Wait, 3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
It
Really?
can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone. Right? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Although I'd say
Really?
weakness was
What?
Kyle. With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope
Stuff into
called
a fridge.
fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it
What
happened.
what did Peter say?
As mere plot devices to
killed the
further a
woman
male
that-
character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an emotional lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red
wow.
is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and
Well, I
replacing
guess I take that back. He look like he's gonna be
Sounds like it sucks, but it's
An opponent.
metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to
Or
heal
the
wounds,
opponent, but
resist
we'll
mental
see if he can
domination,
win this
and
one.
supercharge
That's right.
his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him to others.
The final one was
I have
the
a feeling
sapphire light
Simeon
of
is gonna,
love.
like,
With it, he can trap
absorb
enemies
the
within
ring or
crystal
something, do
matrices and
something
control their minds.
with that ring
but
from
Kyle
Kyle.
only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love.
Johnny Bravo.
Must be nice. And with their powers combined, He doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a White Lantern with total control over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other Lantern in existence.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the Source and acquired the life equation. Essentially the source code to reality, the life equation is mathematical proof that life is worth living.
With it, Kyle can alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The life equation, like its counterpart, the anti-life equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
With the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
Okay, let's see.
Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia? No? Well, that's because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime. But we've got a solution. It's our own website. That's www.deathbattle.gg. It's like our own private Patreon with a store for Death Battle merch and a complete Death Battle video archive. The data through all.
That's crazy that they take it down. Okay, let's get it.
All right, I'm not rusty at all.
Hey dude, Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's mine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah. Try again. Yeah.
Tell me about it. Four.
This dude toying with him, Dread.
That's nothing. My drill will pierce the heavens. Take it to Gurren Lagann.
Oh, flip. There you go. Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was nice, really.
We do the impossible.
See the invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know it.
Now you know.
Now you know.
I'm Simone the Digger. If there's a wall in my way, I'll smash it down.
That's it. Hit. Boom.
Stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me,
Oh,
your
flip.
hope for the future. Choose life.
Have faith in the Simone.
that believes in you.
Well, willpower, bro. You get it? Mother flip.
Is the drill that will transcend the heavens. Giga drill free!
Oh, he got something up his sleeve. Oh, he created one too. Boom. That's crazy.
Weapon wasn't your mech. It was me. Then, Simone, I'm taking you in.
That was a good bit.
Brightest day, blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern fly!
Let's see you grit those teeth!
Bitch! Damn, bro.
Good lantern.
Is it done? Oh, he's
been chosen.
Just who the hell do you think I am?
yeah, bro. That was good, mate. That was freaking good, mate.
Snazzy sunglasses.
Both combatants possess unlimited power.
Hey, that was good,
Shows
man.
them by our normal standards.
Yeah, it is. It is hard.
Hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd as Simone and Kyle. Their imagination, their willpower, and their ultimate potential.
First
Yeah,
up,
that was good. I ain't
imagination.
gonna- that was
The
good.
boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could. Like
Yeah.
absorbing each other's attacks, fighting across time.
That's what I was saying. I even, you know,
Simone did have
he's
a
gonna
few
absorb
attacks
it,
that Kyle
so
hasn't
both of them could
encountered,
do
like
it.
the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more creative than Simone's arsenal, which was mostly drills. Though again, nothing Simone couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other main factor for both
Yeah, that's a
characters,
draw.
the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And that's really gonna be the winning factor here, since it's the source of everything for both of them. Whoever's got the stronger willpower wins.
Both can
That
manipulate
was good.
reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Simone and Kyle.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simone absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's 1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse Kyle's power can threaten.
And remember, each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level. However, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge, because if there's one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
So to determine the limits of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
Simone's whole deal with spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger. So
Yeah.
just because Simone starts off weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the
Yeah,
multiverse
that was a
labyrinth
good
required
fight,
Simone
I
to
know that.
leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant. Simone made himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
More than enough to close the gap with Kyle, especially since spiral power also lets him regenerate his body down to an informational level. Kyle's never destroyed something that thoroughly before.
Without the ability to easily kill Simone, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge. Especially since Simone could likely regenerate for at least a week straight, like Nia did. While Blue Lantern Light could boost Kyle's power, he's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Simone has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simone's willpower, Simone resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at him.
Everything, that is, except for the life equation. It originated from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too
Wow.
bad mad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset, forcing him to relinquish it to keep from destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Simone, who merged with a version of himself, writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
A pretty similar level of reality to the life equation, and our Simone had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at it, Simone might start weaker, but his peak will always
That
transcend
was good.
Kyle's. Isn't that how all of Simone's battles usually go anyway? That's Gurren Lagann in a nutshell.
So Simone's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may have embodied life itself, but Simone's unstoppable evolutionary potential would shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least
That's
dug
awesome.
the fight, because when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner
Wow.
is Simone the Digger.
Next time on...
That was fire, bro. That was good, bro. What is it? Looney Tunes? Tom and Jerry.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
That was good. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This was really, really good, bro. I've never watched Simone the Digger, though. But this was good. This was good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one with me. Don't forget to go to Death Battle and subscribe if you guys love their videos. But anyway, on to the next one. Let's get it. Boom! That was awesome.